Hi, it's Nahian from Ember. Today I'm going to share with you some advice on how to resign. This is a topic that fills even the toughest person with panic. Every year, we coach hundreds of people through their resignation, and they've all experienced this. The sleepless night beforehand, the anxious commute to the office, the overplaying of the conversation with their boss in their head on repeat. It really shouldn't be this hard, but it is. And that's okay, you're not alone. However, before I go any further, I've made a huge assumption. My assumption is that you have made the decision that you absolutely 100% want to leave your job. There's zero doubt on anything that can be done by your current employer to change your mind. If there is, that's a different conversation, and we will pick that up for you in another video. So, you've made your decision. The resignation is on. What is the best way to approach it? I recommend a 4-step process. Do it in person, understand your obligations, put it in writing, and prepare for the meeting. Step 1. Always do it in person. Never, ever do it over email, and absolutely never over text. Regardless of your relationship with your boss, this is about you and how you choose to behave. Resign with class and respect. Hold yourself to your own standards and those you would expect of others. Step 2. Understand your obligations. Go into this knowing what your obligations are. This means your notice period, but also what commitments you have to deliver specific projects. Think about what you would want if a colleague was resigning. What would help set you up to take on their work? Also, once you're clear on the obligations of your notice period, you can time your resignation to align with any leave you may want to take. Maybe you want to take a short break before starting your new role? Step 3. Put it in writing. Write your resignation letter in advance. Have it ready to send as soon as you've had the meeting. What should you include in your email or letter? This is not a place for war and peace. Keep it simple. Putting your resignation in writing is a formal contractual requirement, not the place to unpack your reason for leaving. What does it look like? First, confirm you're resigning from your position as of X date. Second, the notice you're providing. And lastly, a sentence to show gratitude for your time with the company. For example, thank you for your support and development during my time in your team. You don't need to go over the top. If you have a fantastic relationship with your boss, I would recommend a personal thank you card and a gift on your last day. Or just saying thank you in person. It is much more impactful than pouring your heart out in your resignation letter. Step 4. Prepare for the meeting. What do you say in the meeting? Again, keep it simple. For example, you can say, I want to let you know that I'm giving you notice to resign from my position. I've given this careful consideration and I feel I've achieved what I need to in this role, and it's time to move on. I've accepted another role elsewhere and my last day will be X. Then, just stop talking. It may go quiet, but don't fill the void. Give them time to process the information, and it's also important to know what to expect for their reactions. So, what to expect? Probably at least one of the 3 things. 1. They thank you and wish you all the best. 2. They ask you what has gone wrong and what they can do to keep you. Or 3. They ask you who you're going to work for. There's different responses in each situation. Scenario 1. They simply thank you, which is great. Personally, I would qualify with them how this information will be shared with colleagues. You don't want to broadcast it before your boss has had time to think through how your workload will be handled. Stop and think. By telling a colleague, you're potentially creating a problem for them. Just consider this for a moment before blurting out your exciting news. Scenario 2. They ask what's gone wrong and what they can do to fix it. In this situation, you've probably accepted another offer and made a commitment. If you couldn't discuss or fix the issues without resigning, then this is a major red flag. Simply shut this down. Say, I've given this all the consideration and I feel it's time for me to move on. I appreciate you wanting to know more, but today is not the time for this conversation. I just wanted to provide you with my resignation. Scenario 3. Where are you going? If you are going to a direct competitor in a role where you will compete, then I feel you are obliged to share this information, but not the company or the role specifics. Just say, I'll be working for a competitor in a similar role to my current position. I'm happy to take your lead on how you want me to manage this. If you're going to a company that is not a direct competitor, you make the call on whether to share the company name or not. This largely depends on your relationship with your boss and how you feel about sharing this information. Pro tip: if there's something about your new role that your company can't offer, then now is a good time to mention this. It will shift the focus to the future rather than fixing the present. You can say, I'll get the opportunity for international travel when your current company doesn't offer this. Or, I'll get to work with X tech stack when your current company uses Y. Why should you do this? It lets your boss off the hook. If you've been offered something there's no way they can match, then it shuts the conversation down. Never focus this discussion on money or working conditions. Why? Because then you end up in a trade-off with them potentially trying to match or beat the offer as a quick fix. You've made your decision to leave, and this will only reopen the debate. Side note: why was the extra money or flexibility not forthcoming before you resigned? If there's no defining difference in the new role, you can use the line, I just need a fresh start and I'd like you to respect my decision. After you've resigned, call your partner, your best friend, or your recruiter, someone who is going to reassure you that you've made the right decision, because you may potentially have some sudden self-doubts. Also, reach out to your new boss and let them know you've resigned. Say, I've resigned and will leave on X date, ready to start with you on Y date, and I can't wait to get started. You've done the hardest part. Now you get to focus on the future and the positives for what is coming next for your career. So that's my step-by-step guide to resigning. To recap: 1. Do it in person. 2. Understand your obligations. 3. Put it in writing. 4. Prepare for the meeting. And above all, keep it simple. If you've enjoyed this video, click like, subscribe, and turn on your notification to see our future advice for your career.